Everybody, it's Doom here from Dungeons and Doom Biscuit. We're in the 3.5 Monster Manual, and we are on the Roper. I'm so glad we are done with the Rock. That was terrible. But the Roper is essentially a 9 or 10 foot tall stalagmite-looking creature with a mouth and an eye, and it shoots out some tendrils that drag you in and suck your strength down so it can eat you. And so I think this is going to be a nice build. I've built some of these before, and my friend Sam has actually built one that's really good too. So this is not something that's going to be ridiculously hard to do, I don't think. I have a piece of foam here. You could use tinfoil or really anything to make this, but I think what I want to do is I want to carve this foam up and kind of get the rough shape. So let me get a tape measure, or well, I don't have a tape sitting right here. Let me get something I can measure with, and let's look at what 2 inches, which is 10 foot, could look like. So about what we have here. So what I'm going to do is it starts with a 3 foot base. So 1 inch is 5 foot, and we want to be just a little bit less than that, really. And it tapers off to about a foot at the top, so a fifth of an inch. And my knife is really dull, and that's okay. It's going to be fine. Let me get a different knife that's not as dull. I think this one's probably sharper. And I'm just roughly rounding it off to get started here, is all I'm doing. Now, if we make it a fifth of an inch all the way up to the top, I'm guessing it's going to be very, very brittle because it's foam. I didn't really think about that as I was starting here, so maybe I should have went with tinfoil. But foam's going to do nice for what we want, I think. I might make mine a little fatter at the top just to make sure it's sturdy. Okay. And then we're just going to kind of round it out more. Maybe we can do this to get rid of some of the rougher edges. And I'm not real happy with my shape. I want it to be a little more bent, so it looks like it's in combat, not so it looks like it's in a peaceful state. So I'm just going to snap that, add a little bit of glue in there, and let that kind of, there we go. Now for the top of mine, I'm going to make them a little jagged. And there's some spots where I just kind of want to and then for the mouth and the eye, we're going to do something a little fancy here. For the eye, I'm just going to melt a hole in here. Oh, let me get a little bead. Where's that little pack of beads at? I had a little plastic thing full of beads and I lost it, just like I lose everything. Here we go. When you're trying to handle little beads like this, I don't know if you've watched me before, but I just kind of like to use a toothpick to get it in place. Okay, something like that. And for the mouth, something like that, I'm thinking. So there's a couple spots where we could do some little detail work to make him look a little more like a stalagmite or a stalagmite. And if you make these a little deep, that's okay, because we can fix that later. Like, that's way too deep, so I'm just going to get my glue gun and run my glue through there. And that'll get rid of that kind of too much of a depth problem I had. Now you can get your little fuzzes and stuff melted off with your glue gun. You could use a whatever you have. You could use if you use a minor burning hand spell, that could work. Okay, let's measure that height. He might be a little tall yet. He's a little tall yet, and I think I'm going to take it from the bottom. I'm just going to cut that off a little bit, something like that. All right, now I'm pretty happy with my basic structure. So let's get a base going. To do my base, I'm going to use my very standard method. Of getting super glue and a toothpick. Or you can use a piece of cardstock or whatever you have to move it around. And I'm just making a pool that evenly covers that base. We're going to get some baking soda. And then I want to kind of protect this bottom part here. So what I'm doing is getting a little bit of glue. And I'm just dragging it along here to give a protective coating to this foam, so that whenever I glue it down with some super glue here, it doesn't melt terribly. Because it will melt bad. Then I'm just going to come down and make some marks on that so it's not so perfect. Then I'm just going to glue it to the base in a magical kind of way here. And I say magical, it's not magical. It's just a way. That's a lot of glue. And I'll show you what I'm going to do here. I'm going to shove that down. I'm going to get that kind of on there like that. Then I'm going to sprinkle glue around it. Getting all those little cracks. And really sturdy this up. And I don't want there to be a gap on my base. So I'm just getting some more glue. Okay. Now, I don't think I closed my gap up all the way. And that's all right. You know, I'm not perfect, and perfection is not a prerequisite of, whoa, I'm falling down over here. Not a prerequisite of a good craft. Okay, there's still a little bit of gap there that I didn't really like, so I'm just going to get my glue gun. I thought I'd clean that up, and I'm just going to drag that around in some weird spots and create some little weird textures where he kind of mounts to the base. And I'm going to come up here and kind of clean up, strengthen him up, because that foam is not particularly sturdy in any form. Okay. I'm going to use a minor burning hand spell to clean up any fuzz or spider webs. That's going to create some neat textures on him too in the places where there's no glue, I'm sure. Okay. Now let's get some teeth in there. We need something tiny for teeth. I have these little palm trees I will never use for anything. So I think what we can do oh. Maybe. All right. That's a lot harder than I thought. Okay. Let me get some forceps. I'm going to get a little glue in the mouth. And then I'm going to dip these in that glue, into baking soda, then back into that glue to hold them in place. That didn't work. All right. Let's try again. Get something to dip the glue in better. Okay, so I'm going to get my forceps, my little tooth. Oh, come on, you bastard. Oh. Of course, I dropped it right in there. All right, so these plastic things are really bendy and flimsy, so they're not working well. So I'm just going to snip off some of these. I'm going to be able to kind of push those down in because they're sturdier. And that's okay. We make mistakes sometimes. Get that one out of there? Yeah, I can. Good. No problem. I hate to waste toothpicks for something like this. You know, waste a whole I know toothpicks cost less than a penny. I'm not stupid, but I hate to waste An entire toothpick. I'll probably use the other piece for something though, so I'm not overly worried about it. Nice. We're getting there. I don't really know if he needs top teeth. Yeah, let's try it. That's too much. I think one more top tooth should do it. Because really, it's not about perfection. It's about... Oh, I'm having problems. It's about image. All right, we're going to get some glue. Sturdy that up. We're going to do it with the bottom teeth as well. Okay. Teeth sturdy. Move them around a little bit, see if they're sturdy. Yeah, they seem pretty sturdy. Okay. Now we have to do his tentacles. So for his tentacles, or whatever you call his little whip vine things, I'm just going to use some, this is like some bendy plastic crap I have. I don't know where I got this from or what it's for. I've used it for a couple other things. I liked it a lot. I used it on my other roper, actually. Again, I don't know what this stuff's called or where I got it, so it's just something that I have, and I like it a lot. So you can bend this into interesting shapes, and it's pretty sturdy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the reference real quick. Okay, so these come out from these little, he has these little weird things on his head. Okay. Let's make 2 of those. It's very Day of the Tentacle looking. Now coming off his head, let me get a glue stick. There are these little pieces that look like logs or something, and that's what his tentacles are kind of popping out of. And don't forget, just because this guy has one tentacle, these dudes can actually have up to 6 of these tendrils sticking out of them. Okay. We want the ends of these to be little balls or something. We don't want like sharp cut aluminum sticking out there. So I'm just going to put a little bit of hot glue there. All right, cool. We get the minor burning hand spell out. Let's deal with these spider webs. All right. Oh, and you know what I'm going to do? Just to make sure that takes paint well, I'm going to cover those in a little bit of stupid glue. I'm going to let that run down, connect everywhere it needs to connect. We'll sprinkle some baking soda on there. All right, let's clean up our mess, and we'll base coat them. I think we can get this done in an episode. Let's see if we can get this done in one shot. We're getting close. I think we're already at 20-something minutes, 21 minutes. So let's rush, and let's get this done. There's no point in getting to the point where we have to make 2 videos for this guy. So the center of his eye is kind of a hole there, and it's not great. So to fix that, I'm going to snip off a piece of toothpick, shove it in that bead, and then snip it off. And then that's going to be his eye. And we're going to need a dab of super glue probably for that, to strengthen that up. Now, if you have excess super glue in there, you want to kind of suck up a lot of that the best you can. And if you can't do with that, get like a piece of toilet paper or something. Okay, tools away. Let's get ready to paint. Da 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 da. Super glue. Now, I will tell you, if you did not use hot glue in some of these spots, you're going to regret that later. Because what's going to happen is, let me get my lighter out, my +2, or sorry, minor burning hand spell out there. Clean that up. Okay. If you did not use hot glue before you use that super glue, what will happen is it'll be terrible and horrible forever. All right, I had a little plastic thing here that I was mixing paint in yesterday. It's got some different browns and stuff in it. We're going to use that again. I'm going to use a little bit of black, and there's some brown in there from yesterday. It didn't dry. And I'm just going to put a little shot of Mod Podge in here. And a little more brown. Oh, these are gray. Okay. Get a cheapy brush that I don't love, something like that. This is like a really crap brush that I got from Michael's or somewhere, or Walmart even. I don't know. It's from like a pack. So that's not as dark as I wanted exactly. So I'm just going to get a little black and mix it in there. Darken that up a little bit. There we go. And I don't care how perfectly that's mixed. What I want to do is get it in here. Now his mouth is going to be a problem because it's very deep and there's teeth in the way. Cool, cool, cool. All right, let's go. Let's go. I don't know why I started saying let's go. I think it's because I have 100 million kids and they all say dumb shit. Then I pick it up. I met an amazing vendor that deals in polymers and stuff for water treatment. And he's older than me even, and he kept saying, let's go, and I thought it was really funny. Just trying to clean out the excess, what do you call it in there? I can't even do English today. The excess paint, because I didn't want it to be a thing. All right, so we're going to have to hit this with a hot air gun. And there's going to be some bubbling if we go too hot, so go on low heat. And this brush is still wet. I'm just using water from my water. You know what I mean? My rinse thing. And I'm just spreading that paint around a little better in spots where it's still damp. When you hit that hot air gun, because it has that Mod Podge in there, it turns almost plasticky at that point. But we want to use the pressure from this brush to push any wetness out from under the little plastic barriers it created with that and things like that. Okay. Hot air gun it again. +2 hot air gun of burning, because I know you guys love it when I use magic items. Especially you, Scurvy. Yeah. That's right. Now we have a good, fairly dry texture to work with, and we got a lot of detail and a lot of cool little effects. So let's see what we can do with him at this point. So ideally, let's get some dry cardboard here. Let's get a makeup brush that's pretty soft from the Dollar Tree. Something like this. Something like that. We had a green. Now let's get a lighter brown. This is called Territorial Beige. We need to do with that. You don't even need to clean your brush out for this part. We're going to mix those together. We'll set that off to the side. I'm going to hit this with a hot air gun again, just real quick. to use that. On him or her. Starting to look okay, guys. Starting to look kind of how we wanted it to, isn't it? Cool. Pretty happy. I'm going to get that tan and just do one more with a more tan and less green this time. I'm not hitting it everywhere. Just hitting it in some spots. Okay. We're almost done with that guy. Let's get this gray here. This is called elephant gray. Let's steal a little bit of that. Okay. Mix it with that tan. Bring it over here. And really wipe a lot of that off. You can hit this everywhere you want. I really like the way that one looks. Makes that detail really slam. Super, super good. This isn't a bad looking little, what do you call it, roper. I'm pretty pleased. All right, so we have to do his eye, and we have to do his teeth. So for his eye and his teeth, I think for the eye, I'm just going to use this skeleton color, skeleton bone here. I'm just going to get a little dib of that. And I'm going to use a small brush. This is that starter brush from Army Painter. It's like a size 1-ish brush. I'm going to color his eye with that. I'm using my mouth to make moisture on my brush. My brush is not dry as I'm doing this. And I'm going to touch his teeth. And I'm not really painting them. I'm just kind of showing that they're a different color there. Not putting an enormous amount of effort into this. Okay. Now I'm going to get a little bit lighter of a color. This is Mummy's robe, or Mummy robe, sorry. Here we go. Then I'm going to just kind of drag it along that eye a little bit, just lighten that up. And then I'm going to hit the teeth just on the very edges to add a little depth. Then I'm going to get a dark black. Most of our blacks are going to be dark, unless you have light black. I think it's called gray, but if you want to call it light black, I support your decision. Now, if you look at the reference art, there are these little like eyelash looking dealies above his eye, and I don't know what those are for, and I didn't use them on my original, but they're not even noticeable. Okay. Okay. There we go. Nobody got hurt. Your party members may get hurt. And that's how we do it, guys. Just like that. We make something quick and easy. It's not like that terrible death bird of hell. It's just the roper. I could go back and do some work on the base, but I want him to look kind of camouflaged to the terrain he's in. They changed their color and their temperature and some other things about them to go with wherever they're hiding. So that only makes sense that his base would be colors similar to where he is. Even though I'm going to put him in a cave terrain that doesn't necessarily match that, it won't be bad. What I'll likely do is make a stalagmite, if I have some close to his size, and when they enter the cave area and I have terrain set up and they say, oh no, a fight, they're going to see stalagmites, but they're not going to see an enemy. And that's when I'll, patow, roper. So, thanks for watching. If you like what I'm doing here, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell icon, share it with some people if you feel so compelled. Leave me a comment, an interesting comment, like, I made a roper, I'd love to show it to you. Then come to our Discord, which is linked in the description, and show us your roper, because we want to see it. Come to the website and buy some miniatures, and not this miniature, not the ones I'm making on the channel here. No, these high-quality, flexible, sturdy, very beautifully detailed Dungeon Swag miniatures. I have some boxes of Dungeon Swag minis coming in the mail. And I'm so excited because I love when our miniatures come in and I get to paint them. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. We are going to be on, survey says, the Rust Monster, another iconic D&D enemy, kind of like the Roper, but not the Rock. F the Rock. Have a nice day.